My gift to you is do something that you love. If it is not sustainable for you, it's not scalable for you. And if it's not scalable, it's probably not worth your time in the first place. So be consistent, know your audience, show up every day, and treat every single day like it's the first day. And you'll be successful.
I'm Ricky Willis. You might have seen me on TV, and now I'm taking on the podcast world. Join me as we dive into stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I believe everyone has a story we can learn from. Let's talk about yours. This is the Clever Conversations podcast. What's going on, baby? It's your man, Clever. You know, Clever Conversations. And so today, I have the absolute pleasure of being joined by someone that I've worked with for years, and somebody that, if you know anything about my come up within the last 16 years, then this person had a lot to do with that. So today we're being joined by Rachel Fox, the owner of Noy Media. What is up, baby?
Hi, baby. How you doing, Rick?
Man, listen. Finally.
I know.
The travel in the world, the busyness. And so I thank you for taking time out your schedule to make some time for your boy in Clever Conversation.
I'm happy to be here. Anything for you, Rick.
Listen, man, listen. So what you guys might not know is, if you know anything about my commercials, is where I was going earlier. Rachel and her team shoots the commercials that I've been doing. They shoot, they edit, they market, they handle our social media for the company that I'm working with. So all of that stuff that you've seen, she had hands-on, not only just hands-on, but made the decisions to do it. And so I'm like, we're going to do this. And she's like, no, we're not doing that. This is what we're going to do. Kind of like my daughter in the studio. So it's just like women controlling stuff. So do me a favor. If you could look into the camera here and tell people who Rachel Fox is. Like, just kind of give people a brief synopsis of your birth journey to where you are now. Just kind of I know you. They don't.
Yeah.
So kind of just pull the people in a little bit for that.
Yeah, so my name is Rachel Fox, and I have had the pleasure of working with Ricky for the past 7 years. I am first generation to go to college. I am the daughter of entrepreneurs. I have always been in family-owned businesses, and my career and journey to get here today has been filled with a lot of variety and a lot of hard work, a lot of struggle. I've been through a lot in life, but I always have a positive attitude and a work ethic that beats talent any day, I think. And I'm just happy to be here. You know, I work really hard at what I do, and building Noy Media Group over the last 7 years has been a hell of a ride. It's had its ups, it's had its downs, it's had its Noy joy and everything in between. And I'm just a girl trying to do what I love, trying to travel, trying to do right by my family, my husband, my dog, and, put myself first.
I love it. So you just said Noy Joy. What exactly is Noy Joy?
So when we started the company, Noy Media Group, 7 years ago, we named it after my partner's daughter, Noyama. Okay. And at that time, I was trying to find a way to bring the brand to life. And I didn't have a lot of money to kind of invest into the brand, into our own marketing. And so I found a way to use color and create a brand that was identifiable through consistency. And so we have the orange and the purple, which is inspired by a sunset. And our tagline is Experience Noy Joy. And so that is something that we try every single day at the agency to bring to our team, to bring to our clients. And Noy Joy is just a little bit of the pop, a little bit of the flair, a little bit of the flavor that we bring in our brand and our business every day. So we integrate it as many ways as we can. And yeah.
Well, I've had the absolute pleasure of experiencing Noy Joy for myself.
That makes me so happy.
I've experienced it through events that you held, different things that you sponsored, your company sponsored. I experienced it through the process of working with the company and doing my commercial stuff. I experienced it from the side of you being my sister and kind of, so it's like professional and personal. And so I'm grateful for that.
Oh, I'm so grateful for
Listen,
it.
I'm grateful. So let's talk about being in marketing. What would you say is one of the main mistakes people make when thinking about branding, when thinking about marketing, when thinking about bringing their business to life, like you said?
Yeah. I mean, regardless what type of business you have, regardless what industry you're in, the number one mistake that I see marketers make is they just be doing too much. I mean, straight out, they just are doing too much.
Everything.
They're doing too much. So I always like to start with the foundational elements of a brand: color, tone, audience. Consistency is key. And so when you start doing too much, when you don't know what that vision is, that mission, that value, if you don't know what drives you, you can't create something that people want to be a part of. And at the end of the day, people just work with people they like.
Yeah.
So you got to create something bigger than yourself. You got to have that mission and that vision to lead. And so you got to identify that. And it constantly evolves and it constantly changes. But when you're starting to promote yourself and build yourself and put that business out there, be the Chick-fil-A, right? Don't be the Checkers, right? Show up every day. Number one, you know they're going to put the sauce in the bag. You know you don't need to check the order when you pull off. And it's my pleasure. So consistency is key. Don't be doing too much.
Don't do too much. You got that. Don't do too much. So I know that no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say one of my favorite quotes is know your audience or know nothing at all. So if you don't know who you're talking to, you don't know what they need, you don't know what their past is, where they come from, what the lens is, you're missing an opportunity. There's so much information out there. So do your research and make sure you know your audience before you approach something.
Please say that one more time, because that was heavy. Because like when you break it down to know your audience, that was heavy. Could you please say that one more
Absolutely.
time? For the people in the back, in case they did.
Know your audience or know nothing at all. And I truly believe that. Yeah. Most people miss the butt completely. I have a brief story. I was in college. I was buying a laptop for school. I go into the Best Buy. Homie's trying to sell me all these things. This has got a hardcore processor, 3.0. I'm like, I'll take the purple one. I mean, he had a whole spiel about all these things. I'm like, I don't care. I'll take the purple one.
Yeah.
Hardcore processor.
The thing too, I think when you said people do too much. So we're at the house and somebody comes and they tries to sell us something. I don't care what it is.
We're not home.
They're trying to sell us something.
We're not home.
I let them in, but I say this. Just get to the meat of it. A lot of them don't know how to do that because they got this whole spiel that they have to go to, and in their mind they like, I can't tell you how much it costs until I tell you this. No, let's save both of us some time. Mm-hmm. Tell me what the cost is, and I'll tell you if I can afford it or not, and then we can move on.
Yep.
Because I don't want you to sit here and give me a 30-minute lecture, and then me tell you that, no, that's not for me. Know your audience.
Know your audience and know your budget. I mean, this inverted with us at the agency, right? People call, hey, we want some billboards, we want some radio, we want some TV, whatever it may be. All right, cool, what's the budget? Well, I don't know what it costs. I don't know. All right, let me put something together. Oh, I can't afford that. Well, then you got a number. Give me that number.
Right. Then you
so
have
I can build you a plan, right? It's
right.
completely fluid and customizable. So, yeah, you got to know the facts.
Know the facts. I was, this guy that I used to know said something that I thought was very profound. He said, know the business of your business.
Oh, every day.
Know the business of your business.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that was heavy. So I know you do a lot of speaking at different events for marketing. Mm-hmm. So what would you say are two of the main questions that was asked of you? Whether it is something that was from Japan, something that was from California, a question that was from Texas or Canada. What would you say are the two or three main questions that everybody seems to ask?
Yeah. So when I speak about personal branding, a lot of times people are asking, how do I break through the noise? How do I stand out in a saturated space? How do I find my separation? And I go back to the fact that you can sit here all day and talk about what you do. But if you don't talk about how you do it and why what you do in that process makes it different, you're completely missing this opportunity because people work with people they like.
So, excuse me. That would be the first one. What would be the second or third one, or is it anything else?
I think the first one is always like, how do I do it the best? How do I break through? And I always tell them, you got to know yourself. Your personal brand is what matters most, what you align with, who you are, what you stand for, and what you bring to the table. The business then comes, and people work with people that they trust. Right? So the second one is always ROI. How do I know I'm going to get my money back? How do I know that this is going to work? Well, why would I continue to spend money if it's not going to work? The worst thing you can do is put a toe in the water, dabble around, spend some money, work towards something, and then bail out too soon because now you've just lost it all, right? So I always go back to the fact with ROI when people ask, well, what's the ROI? The ROI is not...
I know what ROI is.
What is ROI?
Return on investments.
Yes.
So I was getting ready to... Well, I just told. It's return on investment.
Yeah, know your business, right?
Yeah.
You got to know where that's coming from.
But that isn't always immediately. So that's what you were saying when you
That's
said
what
don't
I'm
get
saying.
out. Sometimes it's a later thing.
It always is. I mean, think about, likes, engagements, social shares, those types of things. That means nothing to me. There's a lot of ego and pride in this world. They ain't clicking that they like me, but I see they're trolling. Right?
Right.
So that doesn't mean anything to my ROI. My ROI to me is who's calling, texting, emailing, saying, yo, I saw this. I heard you do this. I want this.
I want this.
Right? And I'm like, all right, so just hunker down, keep doing it. I've been on so many podcasts a year later. Hey, I saw you on this podcast. You were talking about this thing, and I'm ready to talk about that. Yeah. All right, I guess I'll keep showing up then,
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, again, like you said, putting yourself out there, right? Mm-hmm. Always be marketing. Yeah. Always, constantly. You wake up in the morning like, I know I got some meetings this morning. Just always marketing, right?
Well, and you gave me the out today. You did.
Yeah, listen, because
I went out last night and sang karaoke, and that's fine.
Well, because I know that you are a busy lady, and we discussed already that you got a lot of stuff to do today and a lot of traveling to do today. So
no, but I'm gonna be here. Yeah. I'm gonna be on brand because I ain't gonna bust.
Right.
And I'm gonna bring it. Right. It's always, part of my brand.
Always.
If I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
Always, and I do appreciate you. Please, I appreciate you. Know that. So, what do you see is other than when you say like people do too much, for as people not messing up, but a brand new business, mm-hmm. How would you, for example, if I said, hey, Rachel, I want to start a business. I know you're in the marketing. What's the blueprint?
The number one thing is when you are selecting your name, make sure that it is something that people are going to understand. I see a lot of times, especially service-based business, getting very creative with a name can very easily send you on a harder path to get the traction moving, right? So for example, a landscape company, right? Landscape Savannah versus
all season
Greenleaf.
long.
Yeah, whatever, right? So be very specific. Take that name, buy that domain, secure all your social handles, whether you're using them or not, and ensure that they are as consistent as possible. That is the number one thing I would say, because the second that you don't have those consistent, your traffic online and digital footprint are all separated.
That was a thing I didn't think about, buying all of the names on those different formats.
Mm-hmm. Different variations and mediums, I secure them all. And whether I use them or not,
you own them.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody else could do it.
Domain purchasing and trading is a huge market, ironically. Vanity brands, vanity numbers used to be the thing.
Yeah.
Call all nines or whatever the things are.
Right. 77777.
Yeah, 222, whatever the things are. Yeah, you can do that with domains now. And that's the number one thing I would do with a brand. Second thing I would do is make sure you have a clear brand identity and vision. Color. The easiest thing. My crew walks in a room. They know who we're with. They know what we do, what we stand for, and there's no questions asked.
How did you pick that color? Was it just based on the sunset?
Yeah. Okay. Well, and high energy, right? Orange is bright and vibrant, so is the agency. And nothing rhymes with orange, as in nothing matches what we do.
I get jiggy with that.
Right?
I get jiggy with that.
So then you have your branded tagline, Experience Noy Joy, but then you have non-branded because you need to create something that others want to be a part of if they're not immediately in the Noy Joy community and family.
Okay.
So we have Orange You Glad.
Aren't you glad to be here? Like, yeah.
Yeah, Orange You Glad we showed up today.
I am.
Orange You Glad that we crushed that. Orange You Glad that whatever it is. I mean, we are, so creating something bigger and broader with your brand that your community can kind of get behind and understand is a cool way to create an army and a following and a brand identity.
I like that. I have to think of something. Clever.
Oh God! If only you could think of something clever.
If I could think of something clever, that'd be nice. But so you don't only help beginning companies. You help companies rebrand and rebuild. Is it easier to help a startup company or to rebrand another company? And give me a story if you can.
Yeah, I love birthing brands. I know that sounds weird, but call it what it is.
It's a beautiful thing.
Those are the only kind of babies I'm having these days. I love birthing brands, and it is, an exploration. It's definitely very collaborative. The clients have to be just as bought in, to this process. So that is really fun. But there's also something to be said of a good before and after.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when a baseline exists and it is just shit and you're like, all right, I got this. You take it to the next level and they're like, and last year we did a rebrand it just made so much sense. 3 separate companies who come together, merged as one. They offer 3 products and services to 3 separate target audiences. And so I'm like, all right, how do I figure this out? Trio.
Yeah.
Everything was in 3s. Then I came up with a sign, whether you do your 3 this way, you do your 3 this way. So now all their business developers are out and about. They're at these events networking. They're throwing their 3.
Throwing it 3.
So I made it like an interactive type element.
That's cool.
And it summarized everything they came from, stood for, offered, and where they're going with one word.
And again, that shows that you know the business of your business.
Yeah. I know the business of my business.
And have you ever did rebranding or working with somebody that you already contracted with, and whoever the person was just, they want you to make the change and want you to make things right, but they fight against you for, I don't know, pride reasons or power reasons or whatever. How do you handle that kind of? Because I'm sure over the last 7 years you experienced that, and being a woman, and not knocking that, but that's a great thing for me to be a part of you and being a woman in this field. Is it what would you say the percentage is, you think, on women that's running marketing versus men?
Well, I'll put perspective. I don't know the number, but I went to a conference for agency owners, and I was the only woman there. They were offering bourbon and cigars, which, by the way, I love. And I was like,
me up.
Right? I walk in and I'm like, okay, the male energy in here is strong. Good thing I got some tats and some breasts because I'm going to be all right, But, it's definitely male dominated. I work with lawyers and doctors primarily, so very male dominated. But I think that I don't take no shit, and I know my business. So when I come to the table, I am very clear that the client is not always right. It's not my pleasure. It's not about you. It's about your target audience. You don't need to see your ads. They do. I understand you like that, but it's not on brand. I hear you there, right? I hug you. I'll hug you all day. I'll listen to you. But then I'm going to tell you, go sit back down and let me do what you hired me to do.
And just for the record, JFTR, that stands for just for the record. She is not kidding. I've been in meetings with her where she's done exactly what she just said. Yeah, I know you, whatever, but we're not talking about you. We're talking about your market. And so I've seen that. And so I know that being a woman in the male-dominated field, it's gotta be rough sometimes,
I went to a meeting in Chicago one time with a private equity company and a huge opportunity. And I'm sitting at the big boy table, and one other woman is sitting there, and ironically, she was the assistant, and that's perfectly fine because everyone needs one. And mine is amazing. Bree, who I love, who's
Awesome.
sitting right over there, who I
Bree.
literally would die without. Yee, that's my girl. But they looked at me and they asked me to get coffee, and I just remember thinking,
Pause. Pause.
They just assumed that was my role in the room.
You are at an event.
I'm at a meeting that I flew out of the state for
that
to sit at the
someone
table.
asked you to be to this table.
Where they wanted a piece of my business.
They wanted you.
Yeah.
But they asked you for coffee?
Yeah.
Excuse me, can I get can I get some creamer over here?
So the sweetheart.
What came to your mind?
My mind came to I guess I'm going to go fuck around Chicago today because I ain't doing this. No.
Yeah, I don't do coffee, brother. No. Sorry.
I will say, though, one of my biggest blessings and curses is that when I came up doing this, I was very young. My first conference where I started servicing lawyers and doctors in this world, I was 15 years old. My family business was in this niche and audience as well. And I was kind of protected. I was always looked at as the kid, right? Because my parents were around. And I always hated that then, right? Because I was never really invited with the grown-up table. But now I am so grateful for it because nobody has... I've been protected a lot of the time, but I've also made very intentional decisions with my brand to ensure that I keep and preserve my reputation, right? I'm not going out to dinners with male clients solo and sitting in the corner, right? I'm not carpooling and riding around town with you. I'll meet you there. So there's a lot of decisions you have to make as a woman in a male-dominated field to walk the line of we're going to do business, we're going to have a good time. I know you want to go to the golf course and hang out. I'll go play with you, right? Put me in a scramble, I'll get you out the tee box, let's go. But I'm not going to cross that line. Yeah.
I am still the CEO.
Yeah.
You don't get to change that.
It's a constant finesse. And I'll tell you this was an interesting fast. So I got married in 2023. And the difference of walking into a room for networking purposes, having a ring on my finger versus not, was night and day. Really? I got way more business, way more professional respect, and way less rough when I had my ring on.
Wow.
Because I'm no longer a threat, right?
Right.
It's a immediate, oh, she's married, I'm not, all right, we're just doing business now.
Right. It's almost like an added level of respect.
But it, at the same time, why is it got to be like that?
What difference does we could take this off and that doesn't mean we're not married at all.
I know.
That has nothing to do with the love for your husband.
I understand, but when I'm consulting with clients, because I do work with clients a lot on developing these skills and these brands and how to work these rooms and generate business, and I tell them, unfortunately, people do judge books by their cover. Unfortunately, stereotypes are there for a reason. Oftentimes, there are patterns that follow them. In advertising, you have to lean into that data.
Yeah.
Right? So when you walk in these rooms and you start seeing this shift and you're picking up on these things, know your audience. Yeah. Right? It is what it is. That's cool, but I'm a chameleon around it, and I'm going to finesse it, and I'm going to make sure we figure it out either way.
The pivot. You got to be ready to pivot.
Fluid.
You got to be ready to change.
You are never stuck. Everything is fluid every day.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, I would say that he's our mentor in a sense. So what is one of the...
LBM?
Yeah,
our
LBM. Little big man.
Our little OG-san who we love so much.
Shout out to you, Hostelo. So, what would be one of the... Let's talk about some, because I know it's more than one.
Yeah.
What would be some of the takeaways from learning whatever you learned from him? Yeah. Or what would be some of those things?
It's easy for me. Literally, I hear his voice in my head. I know you do too. I know you do too. Get up and do great things today.
Don't be lazy.
Right? Starts in the morning. I hear it every morning. Get up and do great things today. And I appreciate that. You know, I didn't have father figure in my life, and I really, really am grateful for the chance that I was given and the shot I was given. And I know I took it and ran, but
You did exactly what you're supposed to do.
I did what he asked me to do, and I work every day to make sure that I deliver to that promise.
And the crazy thing is you exceeded whatever he thought. I know, whether he said it or not, he's never,
he probably won't say it.
We've never had that conversation. But from me knowing who you are and what you do, I know you exceeded way beyond what he imagined.
Well, thank you. I just, once again, I'm grateful. The hustle never starts. I never want to end. Like, I live every day and work every day like it's the first day of my business, because I have grown up with nothing. I have gone without a meal. I have lived in a trailer where rats were eating through my bed. I have had the single mother who has struggled and gone without to make sure I had everything. So I don't ever feel like I've made it. I don't ever feel like I've done enough, and to a fault, right? I got to work on that as well, which I'm self-aware of, and that's cool. But I always want to make sure that I'm holding up my end of anything that I do. And, Haas and I have had a very complimentary but very aggravating relationship.
Complex.
Right? It's complex for sure. And I wouldn't have it any other way, because one thing he said to me, and I carry this through with my team, nobody wants a yes man. Right? When you're talking about
power,
right?
That is awesome. Nobody wants that.
No, if you can be strong enough to know that the yes man in the room is the weakest link. I want someone to challenge me. I want someone to question me. I want someone to bring a perspective that I have not had the lens on, right?
We had a meeting one time, and so LBM said something that didn't make sense to me. Now, at this table, I was the only... Okay, first let me tell you about my college days. I've been to college twice. First time to the Salt and Pepper concert, second time I picked up my cousin.
Oh, wait. I know that story.
So I don't know that I'm smart, right?
You are smart.
But what I'm saying is...
kind, and you are beautiful.
And I'm beautiful.
And you say that in the mirror every day.
And I am kind. So I'm sitting to the table, and everybody at this table is lawyers or people who've been to college. And I have my master's, I have my associates, I have my... So I don't have none of that, right? But the streets gave me my diploma, and I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were talking, and he was saying something, and I said, I don't think it makes sense. But this is your business. I'm going to do whatever it is you ask.
Right.
But that doesn't make sense to me. And he said, I knew you wasn't a yes man. Because what I said didn't make sense. Mm-hmm. These people are co-signing on garbage.
They're blind operating.
They think that's what he want. Mm-hmm. But business can't get better if we BSing each other. Mm-mm. It can't. How could it?
No. Even my team, right? We all sit in an open floor plan space, and we are very self-aware kings and queens around our office. I mean, we are leveling up every day, but it comes from reflecting. It comes from taking a situation that has happened, backtracking it, figuring out the root, and figuring out how to make sure it never happens again. And everyone is constantly leveling up. But you have to have a sense of vulnerability. You got to have a sense of will and drive to even want to explore that. So you got to be bought in to the big picture. And I think that that's something with Mike that I've always been, is bought in, right? Because once again, here I am. The opportunity was given. I ran. And I think that that conflicting, contradictory element that can be seen from the outside as whether toxic or however you want to look at it has made me better, has made him better. Yeah. He now knows the words like anxiety or before he'd be like, oh, just get up and get it done.
Get it done.
Now that his daughter's growing up and he's dealing with different things and trying to finesse that, it's really cool to see the evolution. Yeah. And right back at it. So Bree got to like hang out with Mike a little bit yesterday, right? Okay. And she's like, I get it now.
I get it.
I'm like, what do you get? She's like, I just get it. I'm like, I don't, I hear that voice.
Yeah.
And the other last thing I want to say about the lesson learned, or the biggest piece that I've taken away, is do right and do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
Be nice. Do what you say you're going to do.
And do what you say you're going to do.
2 simple things that I do.
How easy is that?
Oh, my God. So easy. I'm like, I don't care if it's 9 p.m. If I said I'm going to call you back, I'm going to call you back. And it's funny. I have a lot of hossy things in my business, and I didn't even realize it until someone else saw it. And it's like when your mama, you like, as a woman.
Right.
I'm like, oh, my mom, who I love so much, but she's a lot, and she is wonderful, and she's all these things, and I'm like, then I catch myself. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like her.
I'm mom.
I am her. And it's similar in business. It's like, all right, I'm picking up on these things, but all for the better, And here's the other thing with that, right? I'm young. I'm female. I come from a completely different lens. He's older. He's male. He's Japanese, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different perspectives here. And at our agency, perspective is key because you're talking about telling a story to the people of the world. There's so many people with so many backgrounds. I didn't get a degree in business. I didn't get a degree in marketing. I got a degree in communication because communication is the one barrier between people in this world. And if you can master that, you can figure the rest out.
Which you've clearly done.
I'm trying.
Which you've clearly done.
And you too. I'm like, this is all about me. I want to talk about you.
I mean, it's about you, but we can talk. Let's talk.
I mean, this is impressive, right?
Yeah, I am.
This is impressive, bud.
Yeah, man.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. And the people that you get on here, it just shows.
Yeah.
Not everyone can be pulling Mayor Van and all these. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing it, baby. I'm proud of you.
For me, it is having the opportunity to work with Mike for 16 years. This next month will be 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I've
Batman
known
and Robin.
Batman and Robin, right? I'm grateful to be the Robin to his Batman, And I've been knowing him now 30 plus years. So half of the time that I've been knowing him, I've been working for him. Mm-hmm. Or he would say working with him, but
he would say that.
He would say working with him, but I've been working for him. And so I had the opportunity to meet a lot of people. Mm-hmm. With being a director of public relations, I am over the South Carolina, the Georgia, and the Alabama market. So I do a lot of traveling, and I meet a lot of people, and I met thousands of people over my 16 years with him. Mm-hmm. And so what I wanted to do when starting this is I failed to believe you couldn't. It's not enough money that you can give me to make me believe that you have to be a celebrity to be important. I just don't believe that. Mm-mm. I don't believe that.
Perspective.
Right.
Perspective makes you important.
I wanted to do this so I could tell the story of regular people. Mm-hmm. People who might pop up on your feed that's not Beyonce or Jay-Z.
Are they canceled yet or they're not canceled yet?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not really in.
I'm not into it either.
I'm not into it.
I'm into
regular people.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure that I have an opportunity to tell the story of the everyday person. Yeah. The lady that grew up in the way you grew up and now owning your marketing team. Your marketing firm. I want to tell that story. I want to be able to share that story. Mm-hmm. The mayor who had to go through all these ranks, with it being the area on the map that he was in and the color of his skin, the stuff he had to deal with for that. I want to tell that story. I want to tell the story of one of 3% of Black cardiologists in the United States, not in Georgia, not in Georgia, in the United States. One of 3%, one person out of 3% of Black cardiologists. I wanted to get that story out. Yeah. So I just think that it is important to tell people's story. My story is fun. My story is my life, right? But I know my story. I want to tell your story. Yeah. I want people to know, because I know, right?
I think there is a common thread in our stories.
Yeah.
And it's just hard work and grit.
Yeah.
One side of it. The other side of it is we're both people.
We got to be people.
Got to be people. I don't care what anyone says. And this is one where Well, Big Man and I kind of go back and forth. I'm like, if you're not in front of them, someone else is. Period.
Yeah, so people like, I've heard people say to me, I've seen you at such and such basketball game. I've seen you at such and such barbecue. I've seen you at such and such school. Because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. I'm supposed
to be seeing me.
If you don't see me, then there lies a problem. Mm-hmm. If you see me someplace and if you don't see me any place, therein lies the problem.
When I bring my team to Savannah, one of my favorite things is to let them see that. Like yesterday, we're on River Street.
Yeah.
Ladies like, Ricky! Mike! Ricky! You're the rapper.
Yeah, so, man, that was fun, right? I can't say that it's not fun. And for me, that just shows that people are watching.
It makes my day.
It shows that people do see us out.
When people come up and they're like, Ricky, I love your commercials. I'm like, ooh, it's a little piece of that.
Listen, I always say, anybody who knows me knows that I say teamwork, dream work. Because if you see the commercials and you like the commercials, I didn't do it by myself. Mm-hmm. My daughter, who's my producer, she does all my music.
The investigator of the year.
She does all my music.
Yeah.
Your team does all the editing and marketing and the support for that. Mm-hmm. Mike gave me the opportunity. Like, it's a whole group of us that made that finished product that you giving me the thanks for to make that happen. Yeah. So I always said teamwork makes the dream work.
I couldn't do it without my team.
I cannot do it. How many is on your team now?
About 20.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I love them.
Whoa.
I do love them. I wouldn't be anywhere without my team. It's all about the team. Your team, my team, same team.
Same team.
Yeah.
We're like step brothers and sisters.
We are.
In retrospect to
I almost wore blue today with my orange.
Because you already knew.
I know.
You see my colors, you see me rocking. Anyway, so I want you to tell the people how they can get in touch with you. Pause before we do that. That was my mistake. What would be the final words that you want to give anybody as far as marketing, beginning, advanced, anything? Could you tell the people what would be your final, this is Rachel's gift to you about marketing?
My gift to you is do something that you love. If it is not sustainable for you, it's not scalable for you. And if it's not scalable, it's probably not worth your time in the first place. So be consistent, know your audience, show up every day, and treat every single day like it's the first day. And you'll be successful.
You heard that. And you're not just going to hear that everywhere. You're going to hear it here on the Clever Conversations podcast because that's how we move. So please, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Subscribe so we can hear more stuff like this. So could you tell the people how they can reach you and give them your contact information and whatever they need if somebody's trying to reach you to help build their brand?
Absolutely. So Noy Media Group is a full-scope marketing and advertising agency. From radio, TV, billboards, digital, social media, ground game, and production, our team is here to level up your brand. If you are in need of these services, please do not hesitate to contact us. My personal email is Rachel, Rachel, at noymediagroup.com. We'll put the information on the screen for you guys. And we're here. Our team is in-house. We're ready to collaborate and create.
Thank you again for taking the time with your busy
brother.
schedule, love. Thank you. So we want to end here at Clever Conversations. We end every podcast by saying 2 fingers, 1 love. Peace
and love.
And love.